already have some guests in studio. I got Molly and I have Dr. Chapa. And this is a reminder, you can go back and listen to these as many times as you want to if you just search Just Live Well on any podcast platform. We're going to kick this on the FM. Go ahead and share this out if you're watching on social media. Here we go. Good morning. This is KHEA Radio, 99.5 FM. My name is Gardy. I have some guests in studio. I'm going to go ahead and let Dr. Chapa introduce himself, and then he has one of his coworkers and friends in studio as well.
Absolutely. Hey, good morning, everybody. This is Living Well Clinical Nutrition Center. My name is Dr. Aaron Chapa, and we have been serving our area, this southeast region, for almost 17 years now, and giving people alternatives to drugs and surgery, teaching people how to live better, be better, stay better, one bite at a time, through food, through detox programs, through supplemental clinical nutrition protocols. And we are always looking, my wife and I set out to figure out the underlying cause of all disease and find and help people see that the symptoms that they have developed over time, they can undevelop those if they start doing a few things a little different in their life, their lifestyle. And it could be simple things like water intake. I mean, we forget how simple and easy it is. And it seems like science, it seems like the world has made health hard. It seems like we've made food hard. It seems like we have made, staying at our best potential a hard a hard task to accomplish. And so we wanted to get on this radio and share a message with hope and opportunity for people to plant their health tree today, even if they haven't been doing so the last 10, 15 years. Maybe they've let some things slip. Maybe life got busy. Maybe they just don't know where to start. They don't understand, because most people do what they know how to do. They don't necessarily do what they want to do. We all want certain things, but we don't know how to do it, so we can't accomplish it, and we just at some point throw in the towel and get frustrated. And that's where a lot of people just keep doing the same thing over and over again, expecting a different result, and then they find themselves dealing with more symptoms that they weren't genetically born with. They find that they can't get any answers other than medications, and they're over-medicated. And so we are on a quest at Living Well to educate people and give people news that they can change. We believe that you'll change if you are educated appropriately. So this morning I have Molly in studio with us as well, and we're going to be talking about detoxification. This is our Summer Games detox experience, and we are excited just to share some of the ideas that have came out of just being consistent, getting people to see the power of detoxification. So we're going to talk about detox, define detox, and then how you can implement detoxification into your life and the benefits that you're going to receive when you do. And so we're just excited to be here with you, Gardy, and we can't wait to see what questions people might have if they have them. And definitely, when you subscribe to our channel, you're going to always get the most up-to-date health information available. So good morning.
Are you telling me this is the Detox Olympics?
It is.
Dude, Summer Detox Games 2021.
Wow. I mean, are y'all going for gold in the Summer Games?
We're always going for gold.
Why wouldn't? I mean, who's going to put the time, effort in and not go for the gold?
I mean, it's a good thing none of us are competitive.
This
right?
is true.
Right, yeah.
I mean, absolutely. There's definitely. I mean, look, when we have the same shirt on, we're trying to we're going for it. We're going for it.
Yeah. I mean, even if there was first, second, and third,
I'd get first.
You would get, okay, of course.
That is baloney, first of all.
But as long as you're better than the person you were yesterday, you're a winner.
Oh, see, and now you're pulling last week's show into this. I like how you think. This is right. So remember, we're competing against ourselves yesterday. Right. Except it's always fun when you have an upper hand on people around you, like maybe time.
Oh, yeah, because you've been
doing this a lot longer.
100 detoxes later, 17 years in professionally.
Yeah, working hard at making darn sure that nobody catches me, right?
So, yeah, for 2021.
Which is why we do detoxes without telling him, right? So
this is not right. I mean, I feel like I'm being ganged up on.
He probably is.
It's a conspiracy in the office.
Oh, no.
Yeah, it kind of is. A mutiny? Whatever. Yeah. Okay, moving on. So here's how the games are going to work.
Okay.
So we have 4 teams. We have the Antiinflammation Nation. We have the Craving Kickers. We have the Too Busy to Detox. And then we have the Ultimate Detoxers. So what you're going to do is you're going to choose your team. Feel free to call the office, check out our social media to see which team kind of speaks to you. We'll kind of go over those today. But you're going to choose your team. You're going to be interactive and supportive of your team on our Facebook group, and then you're going to win because the team who has the most interaction on social media, the most support, the most camaraderie is going to win a free Living Well t-shirt and a detox footbath treatment. So each team member will receive one of those, but only of the team that wins. So it is a little competitive.
It has to be. And so that interaction could be just cool recipe ideas, that it could be just the encouragement. I mean, because going through detox experiences, people think that the detox is just a bathroom trip for 21 days. It's so not.
It's definitely not.
It's so much more than that. It's a 21-day vacation. Or a 10-day vacation from stress and stimulants that people are notorious to put in their body on the regular. And so the whole idea is if your body is filled full of symptoms, so the symptoms could be headaches, symptoms could be allergies, symptoms could be skin rashes, symptoms could be belly pain, digestive distress of any type. It could be sleep dysfunction. It could be any symptom pattern, like you get afternoon fatigue, the afternoon blues, or maybe you are just dealing with like states of anxiety or depression. These are oftentimes irritations somewhere else in our body, and our body is unable to juggle multiple systems balance at once, and things are getting out of kilter and symptom patterns arise. And it arises different for each individual genetic makeup. And that's where finding an exact the exact path for every patient doesn't exist. There isn't a one fit all message, right? Mm-hmm. It is we have these protocols because some people just don't. I mean, it's summertime, right? So everybody's got the excuse of what?
I'm busy. I'm going on vacation.
Yeah. Did you say vacation? Like it's fake? Like they're lying to us?
I mispronounced it. Vacation.
So it's So
I don't have a schedule.
That's right. And so and if that's you, we want to speak to your story as well, because here's the reality: is we teach that you should be having 42 days a year of detoxification built in to your repertoire. And this weekend, Molly and I had a patient come in that has had breast cancer, and she had the cancer removed, and she chose not to do chemo, radiation, and do all alternative stuff. But she said something interesting in her history that spoke to her and I both, that she was shocked. Her doctors were shocked. And why were they shocked, Molly?
Because I've seen what she eats, right? She's super active. She's a runner. She eats, organic only. She grows her own food.
So she's got the case of the suddenlies.
Suddenlies, that's right.
Right, and all of a sudden she gets this crazy diagnosis. So, okay, this is why I have always taught and will continue to teach that intentionality with your health is important. Don't sit back and just wait for life to happen. Be aggressive and work life. Till the land, till the garden. You don't expect your yard to look nice if you don't get out there and do something to it, right?
Right.
But
you
yet,
shouldn't.
But it is interesting because our body does so many things for us, but we, in a sense, kind of expect it to perform at some astronomical high performance level with very little effort, don't we?
Right, and that would be great. Okay, so your body always is receiving one of two things, right? It's always receiving either nutrients or toxicity, right? And nutrients is something that the body needs to facilitate function. A toxin is something that the body doesn't need. Anything the body doesn't need, right? And so if we were only receiving nutrients all the time, that would be great.
That sounds like the Garden of Eden.
Right? Or before the flood, or whatever. Not living in Houston where you're breathing car exhaust, right? Not, being chronically stressed, not eating junk off the
floor.
Right. Well, Gardy, confession time.
Gardy, do you have something you need to tell us?
I just sometimes we'll eat stuff off the floor back here.
Whenever you're getting
snacks, sometimes
or when you're on the mat, they pin you down. They say tap or lick the ground.
And
just lick the ground.
He just licks the ground.
Lick the ground. It's
he
easy.
goes all in.
Easy choice.
But if we were consuming or absorbing or being exposed to only nutrients, then we could expect very little maintenance, very little intervention with our health, and our bodies would perform beautifully. But our toxicity often outweighs astronomically our intake of nutrients.
And that comes down to the vegetables we're not eating. That comes down to the overconsumption of processed food. I mean, we live in what they call the fast food nation. And the fast food nation is what is driving the inflammation nation. And it's one of the reasons we built the Anti-Inflammation Nation protocol. And it is a 10-day program that helps the body detox toxins. So, like, you know, where does the body store toxins? Primarily.
I'm going to say in your brain.
That is definitely
that's one of them.
spot.
That's one of them.
So if you're walking around with brain fog,
Headaches,
or you feel like, you know,
your attention's not really good.
things aren't clicking.
In your joints.
Oh,
Yeah.
boom. Got number 2. He's getting it.
I've been listening.
This boy is learning. And so, yeah, if you're walking around and you have arthritis, or what I like to call
Arthrongus.
because there's nothing rightus about it. And if your joints hurt, knees hurt, elbows hurt, you were cringing. That's a funny joke, or is that a dad joke?
Hey, here's another one. AJ with hippie fertilizing, and I know this has to be on the list. The liver.
Yes, it stores it in the liver, but not exactly in the way that you would expect it, because your liver is your chemical factory, so it's constantly processing, but the liver will build what we call residual little pockets of trash. What do we call those? Fat cells.
It stores in your fat.
It stores in the fat. So that's when you start developing a fatty liver. So
so the liver should not be a storage site.
It should definitely not be.
It should be a processing facility where it comes in, gets processed, and goes out.
And so one of the tests that we run is it's called an in-body scan, and it will look at visceral fat. So we will be able to look at a person's organ fat and determine if it's too high or if it's right where it needs to be. And if your visceral fat is too high, think of having a liver that is so fatty that it can't. It's like trying to walk through your kitchen, but you've got junk everywhere, or like you can't. Your sink is overflowing, and you're like, oh my gosh, where do I start?
I've lived in that house.
Yeah, we all have, right?
Yeah.
I mean, if you were honest with yourself, it's happened, you know, and it's quite okay. But you definitely would prefer that not to be the case with your liver, because the liver is the
giver.
Yeah, it gives life. We always said that if you take care of any system in the body, take care of your liver, because it is involved in every process there is. And so visceral fat built up around the heart, organ fat around your heart. You think that's a good idea?
I'm going to say no.
It's a safe answer.
That's a safe
good answer.
It's a great answer. I pitched it right down the middle and you nailed it. I'm proud of you.
Softballs.
Because if your heart has to work around excess amounts of fat, or toxins we could call it, that's a potential problem. And so every system in the body, and now let me just take a step back. Fat isn't bad.
Right.
I mean, it has a purpose.
It's necessary.
And
you would die without it.
And that's right. And so we don't want a person with no fat. We just want people to have a balance of ratio of good visceral fat, peripheral fat, and their body will perform really well in making hormones, in regulating how hungry you are or not. If you can go a significant amount of hours without food, we want to make sure that the body knows how to leverage its tools and resources as life is always evolving and happening, and sometimes coming at us so fast that it's hard to be prepared for every little, nick and cranny or twist or turn that we're going to be faced with. And so we on the Anti-Inflammation Nation protocol, we are focused on decreasing inflammation. This is one of our favorite premier products that are on the Anti-Inflammation Nation protocol. It's boswellia, celery seed, ginger, turmeric. Everybody's heard of turmeric. But turmeric, I always like talking about herbs, because herbs are like people. People act differently in certain social circles. So you can get more benefit or less benefit depending on if you take turmeric alone. Like you sprinkle a little bit over your food, well, you might get some benefit from it. You might not get some of the therapeutic value that you're getting from taking it, say, with boswellia. when you mix those two together, or you mix it with ginger and celery seed, see, celery seed is really good for blood pressure, blood cleansing, kidney function, kidney cleansing, and the when you mix the boswellia or that with the ginger, now you're putting in this arterial flow that warms the body. And when you warm the body, you're heating up your metabolic processes. So you're mobilizing, you're giving your body a chance to mobilize the toxins, and then you're putting things like boswellia and turmeric in there to neutralize that heat and flush it out. So this is a product that's really great if you've got any type of pain on a detox program or off a detox program. If you're an athlete, I mean, this is one of my post-workout products. I drop 2 or 3 of these after a workout so that I can get faster recovery. I can decrease that inflammation that I've just, torn down tissue. And I'm not trying to shut off my inflammatory cascade. I'm trying to support it, like flush those toxins into their appropriate channels for elimination. And that allows the body to not store up toxins. Does that make sense? And so the Antiinflammation protocol is a detox that's 10 days long for people that aren't in that don't have, quote unquote, the time, but they want to get to that 42 days a year. So they're going to do, say, some 10, if they did 4 Anti-Inflammation Nation protocols throughout the year, they're at 40 days throughout the year. Every quarter they hit one, 10-day. I have a guy that comes in and he does a 10-day craving kicker diet, a detox. And so he loves it because he feels like if he focuses hardcore 10 days a month, the rest of the rest of the month he's fairly okay. And what it's taught him is to live live a certain healthier lifestyle 70-80% of the time. And there's a little fudge room where if he falls off the wagon, it's not completely derailing his overall health.
He knows he's gonna start fresh the next month.
That's
And it works beautifully for him. And he's gotten results.
Have you ever tried that, Molly? A 10-day, like for a year?
I've done a different cleanse every month. So I've done the intestinal cleanse number 2 protocol once a month.
Okay, cool.
So I haven't done the 10-day once a month yet. I only have 3 years under my belt. Good grief.
You got time.
I know.
It sounds like you had 3 years. You've been wasting time. I don't know what you've been doing.
I know.
Planting other oak trees.
Right.
Okay.
He's just tending other vineyards. So the Summer Detox Games is just set up to help people find a place where they can say, you know what, I do have 10 days. Or one of the programs that we have is the Too Busy to Detox protocol. You want to talk to that one a little bit? Yeah.
Okay. So the SB Detox Balance is it's one shake and it has all the cleanse supplements in it. So it has some liver supplements in it. It has some fiber in it. It has some binders, some cruciferous binders that will bind to toxins and help flush those out. But if you're too busy to detox, if you're too busy to count pills every day, if you're going on vacation, if you're not really familiar with the art and skill of meal planning, or you don't have time to meal plan, or you don't have time to meal prep, this is a really great 10-day quick protocol to kickstart your detox journey. And even if you're a veteran detoxer, it's a really great program because it's easy. You don't have to think about it. It's 1 to 3 shakes a day, depending on where you are in the detox. And it's 10 days of fun, and it's minimal work, and you get a lot out of that shake.
So after seeing this, I understand it better. There's the 4 teams, but each team is doing a different detox.
That's right.
Depending on
where they're at in the cycle of life.
So as far as is there going to be like a team leader? Like Dr. Chapa, you're doing the 21-day. Molly, you're doing this one, or y'all just going to be doing?
We're going to be just jumping in, kind of doing protocols alongside people, because we live like most everybody in the office clinically. We
kind of live on detox.
Yeah,
our diet is such that we're eating vegetables, we're eating proteins, and we're taking nutrients and supplements at a pretty high level. And
it's a requirement in the office that you have to be pushing your liver at all times.
Well, that's right. And why? Because the liver is the
giver.
Yeah, the better we take care of the liver, good things are going to happen. So we don't want you to wake up shocked whenever you have some sort of illness creep up on you. that could have been prevented if we would have had a little bit more intentionality, because we get it. Sometimes, well, I didn't know. Well, but still there's a price to not knowing.
Right.
Ignorance, they say, is bliss, but it's not. Sometimes ignorance will bite you in the butt.
It's a bliss until it bites you in the butt.
And so I want people to not be surprised when health symptoms come on them. I want them to think through the process. Hey, I've got a symptom. What am I going? Is this symptom normal? Because science and Western medicine has trained people to believe that age causes disease, and it doesn't, right? It's either too much toxins
built up or not enough nutrients is the cause of.
And I love what AJ said. He goes, you detox people, and I detox soil.
Mm-hmm.
It all starts in the soil.
That's true.
I mean, really and truly, the part of the problem, and we talked about this with Dr. Hill that time he was on the show with us, and when the soil is poor quality and sick, how can you expect to grow a healthy plant out of that? And then expect that plant to give you nourishment. So you might eat the best quote-unquote carrots on the planet that you have access to, but what if those carrots lack 70% of the mineral needs that should be in there, and now you're missing 70% of your mineral needs because all you eat is carrots? I products that I use in the office have green algae and brown algae and different types of vegetables, whether it's kale or Brussels or beets or whatever, right? So I use all these different varieties, and I use words like exotic minerals. These shouldn't be exotic, you know? But people don't eat kale. People don't eat beets. People don't eat juniper berries and different types of herb blends, whether it's rosemary, turmeric, like AJ had mentioned earlier. Thanks for that comment, because that is a wonderful inflammation reducing cocktail, especially if you can get it to a therapeutic level, or just consistently putting it in to the body so the body knows that it has tools available to downregulate the chemistry. And that's some of the cool things. If you can just find a few ideas, like once we get people settled into a pattern where they're integrating their 42 days a year, they're doing the intestinal cleanse protocols and working on their bowels. So now they're working on their liver. They're working on their bowels constantly. Like 70-80% of everything is handled. And then you're fine-tuning things. You're making sure that you're not overindulging in sugar and your immune system's not getting taxed. You're doing some of our immune-boosting protocols to help cleanse out aspects of your lymphatic channels that need to be, overhauled. Everything needs to be overhauled, just like in your car, just like in your house. If you never do any maintenance on your house, what's going to happen?
It's going to get really messy and fall down one day.
Yeah, it's going to fall apart, especially if you got kids that run havoc in there. And it never, like, I don't think I ever realized how much maintenance, like, it requires to run a home. Like, it's just, and it never stops. It's like the dishes always pile up, the laundry is always piling up. The floors need to be vacuumed. Life is continually happening, and there's waste that is being generated. That's something visual that we can all grab hold of. When does your body ever stop working? Hopefully
one day when you die, right? That's it.
Yeah,
right?
exactly.
That's the only time it should ever stop.
That should be the only time. So therefore, if it's always working, it's always generating what?
Waste.
Yeah. Therefore,
Always.
we always are creating a place where maintenance needs to be incorporated.
That's true. And so even if you're not exposed to the air that you can see in Houston or stress, simple processes throughout the body, all processes, energy production, digestion, all create waste. So even you have internal exposure to waste too, right? So if you are having a hard time handling the external exposure, how the heck is your body going to process and properly deal with the internal exposure to toxicity that it goes through every day?
Because usually that'll happen first. There's the stuff that you don't even see on the inside, and then it's so toxic it works its way out through your skin or through a rash or
and I'm
headaches.
glad you brought that up, because that's the whole thing. Is like, we're talking about toxins being stored in the brain, in the joints, and in fat cells. That's storage. That means that your body is already overloaded. And so if you're carrying around extra pounds, that's toxins that your body can't get rid of. That's an indicator that a detox program would be a benefit to you. If you have joint pain, those are indicators that your body needs to detox. And if you have brain fog, that's an indicator your body needs to detox. But those are the extremes, right? Your body has secondary exit strategies when the bowels aren't eliminating well, or your urine flow isn't eliminating well, and it'll push, like you said, trash out your skin. Well, when you have I have people that come in and they take a hot shower and they get hives, or they get out in the sun and they whelp up. And it's almost like, wait a second, the sun shouldn't cause that. Heat shouldn't cause that. But what does heat do? It opens up those pores and the body goes, there's a light at the end of that tunnel. Flush, and it flushes everything towards that light, trying to get the toxin out. That's this body using the skin as a secondary exit channel. So if your body does something like that, or if you have acne, or if you have eczema, psoriasis, if you have any type of skin condition, you can be assured that your body has toxins going out the wrong port, and that's not good. And so your body then, and the people go, oh, so if I've got skin issues, I'm a candidate for being on one of the Detox Games protocols.
Absolutely.
Right?
Yeah.
And so we want people to recognize where detox fits into their life and what is going on in their life, because we don't hear all of y'all's stories unless you're tuning in live and you're asking questions or commenting. Because if you have, say, of yawning, where maybe you labored breathing, shallow breathing, and you're not exercising, and there's no